Okay, we are live. We are live, and it is a couple minutes early for a early start, a 4:30 p.m. start. This is for the folks that want an earlier show. There's some folks that asked for an earlier show, and there's some folks that asked for a late show. Steve is supposed to be picking up the ball on the late shows. Hasn't been doing so lately, but we got to remind him he's got to do some late shows. Oh, I got to turn on my background lights. Hey, Google. Turn on living room lights. There we go. Folks like those background lights on. Kyle's in the house and he says, "Hey guys." And Carlos is in the house and he's saying hello to Carla, to Kyle. Can't talk. It would be nice if I could talk during these live streams. So this is an emergency broadcast. We had an issue. People are still wanting to buy ugly watches. I've tried to help. I'm almost ready to give up. I'm almost ready to throw my hands up and just give up and just let them buy all the ugly watches and just let them have at it. I don't know. But let's try to address this one more time. Sunrise Beaches in the house. Are you buying more Bitcoin? Well, you know, the last couple times I bought Bitcoin, people laughed at me. Let me bring this up on the show here. Here is when I bought Bitcoin for $4,000 live on this live stream on this channel. Video that is still up. You can take a look. Just search buying Bitcoin $4,000. And so let's see what happens. Filled. Okay. You notice right there, it just switched to filled right there. Okay. So this Bitcoin is purchased. Okay, so that was when I actually purchased one Bitcoin for just under $4,000. And then later, when I bought this stunner, this $25,000 stunner, somebody said, "Well, why'd you spend $25,000 on a watch? You should have bought $25,000 worth of Bitcoin." So I said, "Oh, what the heck, I'll go ahead and do that too." So I did this on a live stream. Okay, so this is from a live stream from February 21, 2020, and I was purchasing Bitcoin. And I actually purchased a little over 2.5 Bitcoin for just under $10,000 per Bitcoin. So I bought $25,000 worth of Bitcoin on the live stream just to show some of my viewers how it can be done. So there you go. So I purchased it at $4,000 live on the show here, and I purchased it at $25,000. Will I buy more? Yeah, I probably will. I earn more every month. I have some Bitcoin still deposited with BlockFile, though they've cut back the amount of interest they're paying. So I've also cut back the amount I have on deposit with them. But I do have a fairly substantial amount on deposit with them, and I do get interest on that every month in the form of Bitcoin. So my Bitcoin is growing. And I did buy some with the Casa wallet the other day, just like $500 worth when it was down at around 30,000. That's now worth over 600. So I occasionally play around and buy some here and there, but not buying any big blocks at these prices. It's pretty freaking high, if you ask me. Bitcoin is high, but hey, having said that, if I didn't have any, yes, I would get at least one. My gosh, I'd want to have at least one Bitcoin. I wouldn't want to be caught with no Bitcoin 10 years from now. I don't think that'll be a good position to be in, to not have one whole Bitcoin 10 years from now. I don't think that would be a good move. Let's see here. Let's get caught up. David's in the house. He says, "Hey, all." And Carlos says, "Nice to see you all." Okay. Hello, Craig. Nice to see you. Okay. I hope you can come in to the show. Let me know in the chat, and I'll put a link in there if you can come in and give us an update. Is the Apple Watch worth owning? I think it's a great piece. Brianna gets a lot of good use out of hers, tracking her exercises and all that. I wore one for almost 2 years. I wore the original Apple Watch with a link bracelet, very comfortable, very functional. I went back to the other watches because I really don't need it. Now, if I felt like I needed the functionality of it, she loves like getting notifications on it and all that kind of stuff because she's heavy into the social media thing. And, you know, she loves getting all those notifications. So if all that was really worthwhile for me and I really needed it, I would absolutely wear one. They're nice and trim. They're a good size. They're comfortable on wrist. So Apple did a fantastic job. I mean, they're not outselling all other watch brands because they didn't make a nice watch. They made a nice watch, folks. I hate to bring you up to date on that. Of course, Kyle had problems with his. Mine, the screen finally did lift up. The battery went bad, but that was after like 6 or 8 years, however long it's been since the Generation 1 came out. I mean, so my gosh, how long do you expect something like that to last? So, yeah. It's a computer, for gosh sakes, on the wrist. That's all it is, really. Hey, Carlos, Craig, and everyone. And Boozer, Craig, do you feel guys that bought a Patek upwards of 50K that's not as stunning? Do you feel guys that bought a Patek upwards of 50K that is not as stunning on the other two? Do I feel for them? Probably, yeah. They should have bought an 002. Now there's a couple of 002s at decent prices on Chrono 24. Not bad prices, a couple of them. Let's see, BTC exclusively or some Ether. I don't buy the altcoins. I'm a long-term investor and holder of Bitcoin. I don't play with the altcoins. The altcoins come and go. The altcoins are very speculative. I don't play with any of the altcoins, but people have made money on them. I mean, if you can make money on them, fine. But I mean, Bitcoin has averaged more than 200% a year. That's enough for me. I'm not so greedy. Carlos is in the house. Boozer, so nice to see you. Feel bad for, yes, absolutely. And I mean, here's the thing. I buy all of my gear to perform a function. I bought this dress watch to be able to wear and to look great. If I'm wearing a suit or otherwise dressed fairly decently, I wanted something that I could wear that was really comfortable on wrist, that looked classy, looked good, and that, you know, was 18 karat yellow gold. I mean, it just checks all the boxes of what I want to, and I didn't want to give up robustness and reliability. I didn't want to get something that was kind of fragile. Like, you know, you buy a Ferrari car and you're always like, you know, having maintenance done on it and all this stuff at vast cost. I didn't want that type of thing. I wanted something reliable. So this is like the Lexus of dress watches, right? This is the watch that you can just wear and not worry about. It's got the extremely robust spring drive that's very accurate. This is a watch that you could literally wear all the time and just not have any issues with. I believe that to be true. And so I buy my watches to perform a function, and I don't buy into the hype. I don't buy into what everybody else is buying. Now, if everybody else is buying the right thing and making the right choice, then I'll go that way. But if they're all, you know, running down the wrong road, I'm not going to go with them. I'm going to let them go that way, and I'm going to go the right way. And so, I mean, there's a good decision and a bad decision on everything, right? And so I like to try to advise people on this channel to make the right decision and not to buy ugly watches. Some of them go out and buy ugly watches anyway, but it is what it is. Let's see. Craig, would you go so far as to call Richard Mille a shitar? Yeah, I mean, it's just an ugly watch. I mean, why buy a Casio? A Casio or a G-Shock, right? I think they're made by Casio. Buy one of those if you want that look, right? That funky, wild look. I mean, they make some funky, wild looking watches for what, $100 or whatever. I don't know what they are. I haven't checked for a while, but I mean, now if you can buy a Richard Mille for, you know, let's say you can buy it for $100,000 and you can flip it for $200,000 and you made yourself $100,000, go for it. But I sure as hell wouldn't buy one of those things to wear and keep. I wouldn't wear that thing. I love my Patek. Nevertheless, I'm wearing it 4 to 10 times per year for a few hours. There you go. Well, you have a lot of watches, Carlos. So you only have so much wrist time, right? And you have a lot of watches. I only have 2 watches. So, yeah. And that said, I still don't wear this one as much as I would like to. I would love to give it a shot wearing this one all the time. Oh, I just skipped one. But I still have the 231. So that video on the 2313 year update was a good one. Oh, thank you. Thank you. And you can see it has some scratches on it, but from a distance, you don't even see them. I mean, it still looks great from like 4 feet away. And most people, let's face it, see your watch from like 4 feet away. They don't see it from, a foot away. And it still looks good even a foot away. So I don't know why these people are so scared about getting scratches. Of course, they're worried about selling their watch and getting their money out and all that. Should I wear my Patek at Steve's event, Carlos, in the house? You sure could. I mean, I'd wear either that or the Date 8. I'd wear one or the other, yeah. I mean, if I'm traveling, I don't like to take multiple watches. So if it were me, I would probably take the Date 8 and call it a day. But if you don't mind carrying multiple watches with you when you travel, then yeah, maybe carry the Patek and use it at the party. I don't know if I'd be wearing the Patek 24/7, for like a trip, for like a 10-day trip, wearing it all that time. I don't know if I would or not. First of all, yours doesn't have the deployant, so that's not real convenient, to wear all the time. So that's your judgment call. I don't know how easy it is to put it on and off wrist and all that. Life would be boring without so-called ugly watches in all price categories. I think there's other things we can do to spice up our life other than having a bunch of ugly watches around. I really do. I don't think that that's a necessity at all. But people do buy them and they keep buying them. And so it is what it is. I think they're going to be around for quite a while. And I think it's getting worse. I think there's more of them now than ever before. Wearing a Rolex Pepsi today. Nice move. I like the Pepsi. I do like the Pepsi. Craig, what would Tudor look like after 5 years of hard use? Would it even be running? No, I think the Tudor would hold up okay. It would just look like an old Tudor. Now, there was an old Tudor in one of the forums, in one of the Facebook groups today, an older one that didn't have the funky hour hand, that looked more like a standard, like Oyster Perpetual Date type of thing, the case and everything. I mean, it was actually a good-looking watch. Tudor back in the day, they made some attractive watches. We still didn't buy them. We passed over them even back then because it was just a wannabe lower line. I mean, there was just no reason to buy it. Why would I buy that? I would just buy a Rolex. And if I can't afford a Rolex, I would just wait and save up money until I could. And in the meantime, I'd probably wear like a Timex or something. I certainly wouldn't go the Tudor route. Is Krieger a good watch? I'm not sure. You can send an email to my name, CraigShipp@gmail.com. CraigShipp@gmail.com. We can take a look together, but I'm not sure. I'm worried about wearing the Patek at the toga party at Steve's house. Yeah, I don't know. Does he have a hot tub yet? Yeah, I don't know how well that would fare in the hot tub. So yeah, and I don't know what watch I'm going to wear. I will probably wear the 002. I'll probably wear the 002 to the party if I go. The tentative plan is for me to do a live stream live from Little Treasury. So that is the tentative plan. Let's see here. I'm loving my Tudor a lot. I'm wearing it every day. Well, I mean, Carlos, you're a really nice guy, but sometimes with regard to watches, you have questionable taste, I have to say. Sometimes you make the right move and sometimes not so much. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You bought it, and fortunately, you've got some real stunners that you can wear in lieu of the Tudor. So at least you've got that option. At least it's not your only watch. So there's that. But yeah, I would sell that as soon as possible and get out of that puppy, and not make that mistake again. Come on, Carlos, you're a man of means. You're a man of substance. You can wear a Date 8 for gosh sakes. Why would you ever wear a Tudor? Makes no sense at all. All right. So what else? There's I discovered another YouTube channel that is really cool. I just randomly discovered this. And, excuse me. It's these two girls, I think they're sisters, and they're really good chess players, evidently. And they're relatively young. I don't know how old they are, but they've made a YouTube channel out of their chess, their passion for chess. And I'm going to play a little bit of this one video from April 6, 2021 that has almost 1 million views. And it's a really cool video where they are playing against an app. And the app is this guy named Magnus, 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 I guess. I guess he's a world-class, like one of the best chess players ever. And he has an app that allows people to play against him at different ages. So you can play against him like with the skills he had when he was 10 years old, right? And so they made a video where they're playing against this app, and he's live in the chat while they're playing, and they're talking about their moves and stuff. So I'm just going to play a little bit of this, but guys, you got to watch this. It's really cool. Give me a second.
2.5 results? What do you mean?
It's an expression like you say that you play for 3 results: win, loss, or draw. But like you would still have to make a lot of mistakes to lose this as black. So that's why I say 2.5.
Okay, I think I just need to unleash the magnometer on the app because it says 120. I don't know if it's talking about IQ or it's just a light bulb, but I would really like to click that button and unleash it, you know?
Okay, so I'm going to pause it there. So I couldn't hear what they were saying, but I was just playing you a little bit of the video. Go to their channel. It's BOTEZ Live, BOTEZ Live on YouTube. Go to their channel and check it out. They're really creative. They went down to Miami, and there's this place where a bunch of old guys play like dominoes and chess and other games and all. I think the place is called Dominoes. And they went there and they're like challenging, people to play chess. And of course, they're mopping the floor with them, like they're kicking their butt, right? And it's funny. It's just, they do a good job with their content. I mean, they've got like 600,000 subscribers. I mean, it's kind of cool that these two girls have created a profitable channel out of their passion for chess. I think it's so cool. And there was a series, I think it was a series called Queen's Gambit. I think it was on Amazon Prime. That was really, really good about a chess master. What do you call the prodigy? Yeah, a chess prodigy. It really, really cool. So check that out too. I'm not a big chess player. I used to play and I enjoyed it, but I kind of haven't played for many years. So, but I think it's a really cool channel. Craig, I've emailed you a link with a new GPS watch from Seiko. Okay, we'll take a look. Carlos, I will never sell my Tudor. I purchased it with some money that matters too much to me. Honestly, now it could be the last watch that I would sell if I would need money. Oh my gosh, Carlos. Oh my gosh. Well, you're still a young man. Hopefully you'll learn. When I was a young man, when I was your age, I made some serious mistakes as well. So we'll just hope that time will correct that situation. We'll see what happens. Tim's in the house. Carlos, why not wear the Tudor to Steve's? What the heck? I'm considering that option. Oh, jeez. I think the Doxa would be better than the Tudor. Carlos, there is no way that you would keep that over the Explorer. I think, Kyle, there might be something in the water, in the drinking water down there in Panama. Maybe the water's not quite as good as some of us may have thought. Maybe there's something in the water that's causing temporary insanity. It's very possible. So we might have to look into that. Craig, Lamont has fallen on hard times. He's offering his classic Cadillac for 1 Bitcoin. Okay, we'll take a look at that. Kyle, the money that I used to purchase it means a lot. Well, you could channel that money into something else. You might take a little bit of a bath on the Tudor. They're not very easy to sell, but you could certainly take that money and park it somewhere meaningful. Carlos is going full bore on Tudor. Oh boy, I hope not. I hope not. All right, so let me check the email. Stand by. Okay, so this is the Seiko with GPS. Good looking case, good looking design. I'm not sure why you would need a watch with the GPS. What's going on with all that? Is that so that it adjusts to the time zone that you're in? Is that what it does? I'm not hip on all that, but it's not a bad looking watch. I think it looks nice. Okay, let me see the next email. And here's Lamont's Cadillac that's for sale. No, that's not a Cadillac. That's a Chevy. I think that's a Chevrolet or something. It's not a Cadillac. But anyway, yeah, they do. They ruin those damn things with those wheels and tires. What can I say? What can I say? Oh, boy. Let's see. Boozer, did you already get the faux pay bracelet? Did he? Did Kyle get one? I think Kyle was thinking about getting one. But the problem is I don't know what Kyle would get, if he would get yellow gold or he would get have to get white gold, because I don't think he has a yellow gold stunner yet, does he? Does Kyle have a yellow gold stunner? I don't think so. Where is Derek? That's a good question. Price is going up on my Seiko Prospex LX Antarctica Spring Drive, only 500 made. Hey, if you can dump that thing for a nice profit, do it. You can always get another watch. Yeah, if you can dump it for a nice profit, do it. But remember, it has to be a significant enough profit to cover all your taxes and everything, all your overhead. Okay. There are many Tudor designs I would take over Rolex, but the only design I like from Rolex is the Mille gals. You don't like the older GMT Master and the older sub before the Super Case? That was a good watch. The Datejusts are good watches. The Yacht Master's a good watch. All of those would be preferable over Tudor. Oh, almost anything would be preferable over Tudor. Dave Newbie, I love those wheels. Oh, geez. I hope you're being sarcastic. Unfortunately, Kyle does not own a gold stunner yet. Keyword being yet. And here's the problem. Prices are going up, it seems. You might have to wait for the next crash. You might have to wait. And I think a crash is coming. I'm in the minority here. Most people think prices are going to keep going sky high forever. But I think there's going to be a major crash at some point, and a lot of things that people have been FOMOing into and paying too much money for, like stocks and so on and so forth. I think a lot of things are going to come down to earth, and Rolex is going to be the biggest crash of all of them, especially the steel stunners. I think the bottom's going to fall out of the market like nothing we've ever seen before. Unprecedented. It will be unprecedented. Yes. Carlos. I love the white Mille gowns, but to me it feels very thick. And while I understand could be perfect. Yeah, see, that's the problem. That's why you're better off going with an Oyster Perpetual. or an Explorer, because the Milgauss has that Faraday cage in there that makes it thicker. So if you get an Explorer, that's a thinner watch. If you get a Datejust, that's a thinner watch. If you get an Oyster Perpetual, that's a thinner watch. So there are a lot of better options, in my opinion, over the Milgauss. And we don't need that anti-magnetic stuff, because I've never had a watch get magnetized in all the years I've been wearing watches, and I wear them around computers and stuff. I mean, I don't wear them in an MRI machine, but I mean, you know, I've never had a watch get magnetized. I think that's overhyped, that issue. A lot of things are overhyped in the watch community. Tudor's definitely better than Richard Mille and Hublot. Would you agree, Craig? Well, but I mean, I just wouldn't buy any of those things. Yeah, I would pass on all those. I mean, there is the option of just not wearing a watch. There's that option, which I would choose before I would buy a Tudor. So I just don't like the whole concept of Tudor. I just don't like the whole concept of a lower grade Rolex. Just no. And now they're trying to hype it up and trying to make it like it's something that it's not. And people are going for it, and they're feeding into it, and there's starting to be a little frenzy around Tudors. And I just don't feed into those kinds of things. I go the opposite. If you got the crowd, a huge crowd going this direction, you'll probably see Craig over here going the other direction. That's probably how that whole thing will work. Kyle is too young and fit for a colored gold watch. Hey, I was young and fit when I wore yellow gold day dates. Okay. I was very fit when I wore yellow gold day dates for, 40 years. I was pretty much fit the whole time. I went downhill as the decades marched on, but I was still relatively fit wearing a yellow gold day date. Let's see, at some, okay. Okay, I'm not sure what that, okay. Let's see here. The GPS connects to a satellite to keep atomic time wherever you are. Okay, that makes sense. So for somebody that travels a lot, that would possibly make sense. But hey, just wear an Apple Watch, right? Just if that's what you want, just wear an Apple Watch. It'll set itself too. A colored gold watch would be perfect for Leslie. Absolutely. Leslie would look great with a yellow gold, not rose gold, not any of these other quote colors. Yellow gold, folks. Yellow gold. That's what we had for thousands of years. We don't need to tint our gold to make it cooler. It's just like these altcoiners try to make a better Bitcoin. Oh, we can make a better Bitcoin. We just change this or change that, and all of a sudden it's better. They think they're smarter than Satoshi, the guy that invented Bitcoin, or the group that invented it, whoever that may be. They think they're smarter than him. Well, good luck with all that working out. The guy was a freaking genius. Leslie likes the lady president. Yep, we used to call that the lady date. The lady date. It was usually a Datejust, I think, with the president bracelet. I don't blame her for liking that one. She's got a lot of style. That were other times that were not that much rappers and women. No, Carlos. For 5,000 years, yellow gold has been the way to go. Don't feed into these short-term trends. Buy stuff that's classic and long-lasting, and then you don't have to replace stuff so often. If you try to feed into every fad, like buying a Tudor, buying white gold instead of yellow gold. If you try to feed into these fads, you're never going to get anywhere, because the fads always change. They keep changing, and you're just not going to be able to get anywhere with that. If you buy classic stuff, you can wear it forever. Like my cashmere sport coats, I can wear those my entire life. I've been wearing them basically my entire life, and they're fine. They don't go in or out of fashion. They look great. My Stetson hat that I bought in New York, the black one, looks great now. It looked great 40 years ago when I bought it in New York City. If you buy classic style stuff, and quality stuff, it will last, and it will stand the test of time, if you will. You keep buying into all the hype and all the short-term whims that people are into. Like the rappers, for example, were buying, day dates full of diamonds and all that stuff. I mean, that's just tacky. You just buy a standard day date, just buy a yellow gold day date and call it a day. And that you can do like Jack, was it Jack Nicklaus? Was that his name? Anyway, the golfer, and wear it like your whole life, right? And it's fine. That's what you can do. It is pricey. What is pricey? Okay. Sent a link. Okay. The lady date, the gold ladies Rolex, you can buy them still a lot more reasonable than the men's watches, because the ladies don't like used watches as much. So they get bent out of shape if you buy them a used watch. So that way you can get a better buy on those. On the ladies' watches. Let's see here. I don't know. Somebody's sending me, I guess, some political stuff. Yeah, we're not going to play that on the channel. User sent a link. What link did you send? Okay, I don't see it. I don't see it in my inbox. All right. What else are we talking about? We might be caught up. We might be caught up. This might be a record short show. A record short show, a short show, as opposed to a Bitcoin short squeeze, which we just had. By the way, there's some people that were asking me, do I think that Bitcoin's going to take another big dip? And I have no idea. I have no idea what Bitcoin's going to do short term. I would be surprised if it goes below 30,000 again. That would kind of surprise me. And actually, I think I would buy a couple more Bitcoin if it went down below 30,000 again. I was going to buy at, I think I said 26,000 this last dip, but it didn't do that. It didn't go down that far. So I missed. I didn't buy. But the way things are looking right now, it's looking like there are some supply shortage. The on-chain metrics and so on. There's a guy named Willie Woo that tracks all this stuff. Check him out on Twitter. But it seems like there's a supply shock, and that we could have some real problems with supply of Bitcoin here for the short term. So the price might be going higher from here. So we'll see. We shall see what we shall see. But yeah, I'm not sure that the bargain basement Bitcoin is going to be a thing anymore. It might be hard to get a whole Bitcoin for less than $30,000. It might not be a thing anymore. So that might be the new bottom. Let me know in the chat what you guys think. Is Bitcoin going below 30,000? Let me know what you think in the chat. So is Carlos going to come in? I'll put a link in the chat if he's going to come in. Put a link in the chat here. Join. Okay. There we go. I put a link in there just in case Carlos decides to come in. So, I got to tell you, this is how somebody reacted. This is how somebody reacted when they saw a Richard Mille watch for the first time. This was the actual reaction.
It looks like somebody's nightmare.
I'll play it again.
It looks like somebody's nightmare.
So that's what she said. It looks like somebody's nightmare. And it looks like Carlos is in. I'm going to bring him in. But before I bring him in, let me show you what the reaction was when somebody saw this 002. When this young lady saw the 002, this was the reaction. You ready?
What? I mean, this is amazing. Yeah, it's beautiful. Wow, this is really pretty.
Yeah, that's what she said. That was her reaction. She just couldn't get over it. So that's what we're dealing with. So let me bring Carlos in. And Carlos is in the stream. So where are you located now, Carlos?
Hello, Craig. How are you?
Good. Are you still over in Spain?
Yes. Yeah.
So that's why it's dark there, because it's nighttime.
Yeah. Now is 11, almost 11 o'clock in Spain.
So so for you, it's better if I start earlier when you're in Spain.
Well, the thing is, I am enjoying a lot. I have very, very, very close friends here, and we are having great time. And yeah, I don't know. Depend of the day I can join or not. It's something.
Is that a view that I see out the back? Is there a view of something? Do I see like a view of like city lights or something out the back, or what's that? What are those lights behind you?
Well, you can see the lighthouse. You can see a lighthouse. It's an important lighthouse in the Mediterranean coast.
And that's like the coast off there in the distance. Those lights that I see, that's like just along the coast there. Beautiful.
Yeah. It's the coast. Yeah, it's a very nice area. It's an area that I really like, and yeah.
Is it warm there? Is it warm?
Yes, but usually it's quite breezy. Then yeah, it's very, very, very nice weather for
so
me.
Comfortable, very comfortable.
Yeah, very comfortable. Here is especially important to have the house in a good location. Then you have breeze. Maybe you are in the interior of the place, you don't have that breeze and could be warm. But yeah, definitely we are having great time here.
Okay, so Kyle says, I want to get your comment on this. He says in the year 2050, about 30 years from now, he says BTC will be 1 million per coin. The world population is 500 million. Why would the population drop to 500 million people? I don't understand that part of it. Yeah. Something major would have gone wrong if we're down to 500 million people. But what do you think about his price prediction for the year 2050 that one BTC will be $1 million?
Well, I will be very happy for you about that.
Well, first of all, you think I'll still be alive then?
Yeah. You for sure, Craig.
Maybe. Okay, maybe.
Yeah. You for sure. I am sure. And if not, I think Bree or whoever gets
whoever has the Bitcoin, will benefit.
Your good choices.
Now, I think what he means is 1 million of today's purchasing power, because we all know that in 30 years, probably $1 million USD, US dollar, that might buy very little. By then, you might be lucky to buy a Tudor for $1 million US in 2050, right? Because the way the dollar is being devalued. So I think he means in today's purchasing power.
Honestly, I don't think that will be the case, but yeah, it could be a possibility.
So here's somebody else has a comment. I think you could see a decline in BTC along with the stock market. Yes, absolutely. When there's a big sell-off, then people sell off a lot of assets that you could absolutely see a decline in BTC. But it tends to recover pretty quick from stuff like that. But we'll see. It's a very nascent thing. It's very early days, very small market cap. So very early days, it can be extremely volatile for that reason. So here, Craig, I enjoyed the Clint Eastwood movie clips you had on the show the other day. Yeah, he does. Clint had some classic lines. Did you ever watch any of Clint Eastwood's old movies from like the 60s and 70s, Carlos?
I love Clint Eastwood. I think that I love any Clint Eastwood movie, and the new ones that he's the producer are great too, in my opinion.
He does a good job. I think he really does.
Yeah,
Carlos, how do Panama citizens feel about the Van Halen song Panama?
No idea, really. No idea.
No idea. You'll have to do a poll next time you're there. Carlos,
Yeah.
let's get a wrist shot. Kyle wants a wrist shot.
Well, I have.
We don't have much light, but oh wow. I like that strap. I'll have to give you that. I do like that strap. You know, if they would have just put a Mercedes hand on that thing, that would have made such a difference.
No,
Or just a straight hand, or just a straight hand.
I understand your point of view, and in fact, I had that feeling before I purchased the Tudor. Really, it's true that when you see a macro photos of the Tudor hands, looks very weird. But I have to say that before purchasing it, when I saw it in the real life, it's very different. Yeah, to me, yeah. I'm not sure if I would prefer the Mercedes hand, but I like it, and for me,
now that one is silver. That one is silver, right?
Yeah.
And
But the way it is starting to tarnish, I am starting to feel that it is starting to tarnish a bit, and it is giving it a kind of warm color. Yeah.
And so it came on a strap, right? It didn't come with a bracelet, correct?
They had the option of a leather strap or this kind of NATO.
Yeah.
I wanted this NATO that has the thing, and yeah, I'm wearing it almost every day on the beach and on the water, and yeah, it's a watch that I had the feeling. I know your opinion about this brand and it, but yeah, I am liking it.
Now, Kyle says something major is going on currently. What? Do tell. You can't leave us hanging like that. You need to tell us what major thing is going on.
I am no idea about that. At least I haven't.
So Bitcoin is up a little bit. It's at 40,800, if that's what he's talking about, but I wouldn't call that major. Okay, we got another one here. Delta variant could be the match that ignites the kindling of fully valued markets. Well, you know, can you believe that they are now hyping up this new variant? I mean, all the data shows that the vaccines work fine against it, and that if you're vaccinated, you don't have anything to worry about. If you're healthy and you're under 60 years old, you don't really have anything to worry about either way, whether you're vaccinated or not. And yet the media is still jumping all over this and hyping this whole thing up and trying to scare people to death. You know, the restaurants were just getting back to where, you know, they were starting to do some business. And now they're going to start scaring people again and getting people to stay home. What do they want to do? Just run all these businesses out of business? Is that what they're trying to do? Is that their goal with all this, Carlos? What's going on?
Yes, definitely. I agree with that. It seems that the current data is that, maybe who is not vaccinated or young people can get it. But it seems here in Spain currently, a lot of young people is getting the thing. And yeah, but they are not having anything, but they are still counting the cases and not the let's say the bad effects about it. And yeah, definitely there is no sense. I agree. I understand people can have the reasons to not get vaccinated. In my case, I have been vaccinated, and I am very happy about it. But yeah, I am feeling great. But by the way, one thing that is curious in this town that I am here now, we don't have. They have to close the restaurants and the bars at 12 a.m. and but there is no curfew. But in the nearby towns, they have curfew at night, and every young people comes to this place to have party during the full night instead of going to their own towns. Yeah, definitely this is a yeah, the media makes their money with the pain and the fear of the people, and yeah, definitely this is something to be concerned. But I think that we should be proud as the humanity about how we have been able to get the vaccine. So I don't know if it's so fast or whatever, and yeah, and whoever wants to get it can get it, and I feel absolutely safe with it.
Yeah, if people want to take the risk and don't want to get it, I mean that's on them. I mean, it makes no sense. But anyway, I'm not going to get into politics on this channel. They Tim is saying Carlos has the Tudor tarnished. Okay, it has. So I guess he was kind of typing that in the middle of you saying that it's gotten a little bit of a tarnishing, a little bit of a patina. I like the look that sterling silver gets with a little bit of a patina to it. I have an old Navy ring from my uncle that was silver that some of it is kind of tarnished and some of it, if you wear it, it gets kind of polished. The high points get polished and the low points are kind of like the dark gray or black, and it makes it look kind of old and kind of eat up with class. It makes it look kind of cool. So yeah, that should be neat. I mean, I think that it was kind of a cool thing that they did to bring it out in sterling silver. You don't hear of that very often, watches being available in silver. I think that's kind of interesting. Of course, I wouldn't have bought one, but it is what it is. Kyle says we're living in unprecedented times. And I'll tell you what, I really think, and it's not just because I own it, I really think the only hope for humanity at this point is Bitcoin. If Bitcoin succeeds, I think humanity has a good chance. If Bitcoin fails, I think we're going to continue going down this road of authoritarian, governments and control. And I think it's going to be a slippery slope. I think the only thing that can reverse that is Bitcoin, because Bitcoin can take the money out of their hands, can defund them. And if they don't have funds, they don't have power. And so this is our last stand of those who believe in individual liberty and freedom is Bitcoin. So we'll see. We'll see if it's able to pull it off. It's a David and Goliath story for sure. It's the Trojan horse, right? Tim saying, Carlos, do you have to vaccinate when you leave Panama? Did they require it when you leave Panama?
No, but to get into Spain, I was able to get into Spain with my vaccine certificate, and if not, I will need a negative test. But yeah, definitely not. But by the way, nevertheless, I have been vaccinated in Panama with the Panama government program. Currently, if I will return now, I will need to have the vaccine certificate and the negative test. Maybe in 2 weeks, that is when I am returning, they will change it. But currently, I will need, let's say, both the vaccine certificate and the negative test.
Wow. Okay. And Tim says that Pfizer profits are up 75%. And this is the Apple Watch was sent in to me. Somebody sent in a picture of their Apple Watch stunner. There you go. I'm not against Apple Watches. I think they have their place. Absolutely. Boozer says Carlos bought the Tudor after getting vaccinated. Doesn't that say it all? Uh-oh.
Yeah,
He's saying that it was the
yeah,
vaccine that caused the
maybe.
temporary insanity.
Yeah,
That's possible.
maybe. Yeah.
Temporary
Yeah.
insanity. That's possible.
Yeah,
Nice.
maybe.
Long BFE. Okay. All right. So I think we might have solved all the world's problems here again on the
Yeah.
channel. What else do you have to add?
Yeah, not much. Just
Have you
telling
scheduled to go to Steve's show?
I saw your recorded show the other day. I scheduled it in my agenda. I am not sure if I am able to commit about it yet.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let's say that currently I have a hotel reservation near to the place. You know that I also have some friends over there. Yeah, the thing is, I am planning to be in the US also in the early November. But yes, I will try to go. I will try. Definitely, I will try to go. I've already checked the tickets. I think that, yeah, I
You
would
should
say
try
that.
to stay. You should try to stay for October and November because October, it's beautiful weather here. That's the best weather we
Yeah.
get is October. All the
Yeah.
leaves start changing. Like around the end of October is beautiful for taking a drive on some of the scenic drives.
Yeah.
The third week of October usually is very good for that sort of thing. So yeah, you should just stay for all of October, come for his thing and stay for all of October and stay for November. All the way through the end of November is still nice. Then it starts getting questionable, the weather here
Okay.
after that.
Honestly, I have already taken a lot of holidays this year. I think that I will go only on the weekend, and probably on the early November I will be in California. I think I assume that my son will be starting again his classes in San Diego, and I assume I will be in San Diego and LA in early November.
Gotcha.
But
Derek says hi to you.
hello,
And
Derek. How are you?
Donald Johnson says, Craig, when will you appear on the Archie live stream? Probably never. I don't get invited often, I'll put it that way. And when I do go on there, they don't really treat me with any sort of respect. So I'm not so sure I will go on, even if I were to be invited. But, he has fun on there. He does his thing. And I just hope he's saving and investing some money for the future. I'm definitely going to Steve's in October. How do we RSVP? I would send him an email to steve@littletreasury.com. steve@littletreasury.com, or give him a call and just let him know. Make sure that he puts you on the VIP list.
I have wrote to Steve today, by the way.
Say again?
I have wrote to Steve today, by the way.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And Kyle says, Leslie and I would like to go, hoping to make it. Yeah, I hope you can. That would be great.
Yeah.
That would be great. And by the way, I have him working on the possibility of a custom designed signet ring with a special logo for the channel for VIPs that will be a numbered series, less than 100 made total. And so he's working on that. Actually, his wife is working on that. So we'll see if we're able to work that up and get something ready for the event, at least have one to show people. So that's a possibility too. Kyle says we all need to go.
Yeah, but I think that we should. I assume that I understand that the event is Friday and Saturday. I
Yes.
assume that probably the event is Friday and Saturday on the afternoon. Maybe we can do something exclusive on the Saturday morning or something to go around the area or going to the Annapolis event with the military people and everything. Yeah.
It's possible we'll be able to put something else together. We'll see. Let's see as we get closer to there. Of course,
Yeah.
Brianna lives, very close to Annapolis, so she
Yeah.
might be able to put something together. We'll just have to see how everything works out with all our schedules. Saturday is probably the day that's the big day. That's when they have a lot of their big things going on, and that's probably the day I'll do a live stream from there.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see how it works out. Jaden says it's a 4-hour drive from him, so it's no problem. And Kyle says, Carlos, we will have to drink the Newcastles when you get here in November.
Yeah, definitely.
So when you get to California, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Kyle has a special reserve of Newcastles.
Derek is asking when the event is. It's tickering across the bottom of the ticker. It's October, I believe, 8 and 9. So you see it tickering across the bottom there, October 8 and 9. Jaden, I think the new crew with Archie would be respectful. Well, I mean, he has to invite me on. I mean, I can't just go on there. He would have to invite me. Jaden and Lance and our wags are reserved. Okay.
Oh, it will be
So
great.
Lance is coming? Do we know that?
It will be great.
I don't know if we've heard from Lance that he's definitely coming, but that would be good if Lance could come.
I
Dogman
think that
and Clive
should invite Lance.
So Dogman and Clives don't go on the show anymore. Yeah, that was a good move by Archie. I will after the show. Okay. Where's Mark Goldberg? That's a good question. I have no idea. And let's see what else we got here. Have to leave the stream, folks, and take care of a client. Yes, take care of business. Ultraman Red. I just tried on the GS Diver, and it was surprisingly way smaller than the measurements would lead you to believe. Yeah, it wears a little more compact on the wrist because of the shape of the lugs and because of the way the bracelet drapes around the wrist. So I would say, especially if you get the titanium version, the 231 version, like I have, it wears more like a 40 mil watch than a 43. It really is very forgiving as far as how it fits on the wrist. So yeah, that's a plus for the case shape and all that. See, they made the super case. The whole reason Rolex came out with a super case was to make the watch look bigger. They didn't really want to make the watch any bigger. They wanted to make it look bigger. So they came out with the super case and did the slab sides and the fat lugs and all that, which look hideous. They ruined the watch, but they did that to make it look bigger on the wrist, right? Grand Seiko goes the opposite direction. They make the rounded lugs and the rounded case and all. It actually looks smaller on the wrist, which is actually better. Yes, Bree should invite Lance. I think she did. Invite Lance. Is Clivester coming to Steve's? I don't know. I haven't heard from Clive for a long time. He used to call me periodically to ask me something about Mac Pros and stuff, but I haven't heard from Clive for a long time. I will have the SBGE 215 that weekend at Steve's. Cool. Yeah, cool. I've tried the titanium diver. It was wonderful. If Rolex doesn't call me in 2 months about a Submariner, I'm going to GS. Well, I'll tell you, it will be a wrist hog. If you start wearing the 231, that stunner right there, it will hog your wrist because it is exceptionally comfortable on wrist. The only watch I have worn in the past and present that is more comfortable on the wrist than that is my 002 Stunner. This thing just floats on the wrist. I mean, it's just insanely comfortable. But the 231 is close. It's close.
And how is it? How is going the leather strap? How are you feeling it with the
It's
time?
shaping. It's shaped very nicely to my wrist. It broke in nicely to my wrist. It floats on the wrist. I wear it a little bit loose, but it still doesn't like flop around. It's. I just can't tell you how comfortable this thing is on the wrist, and it's so easy to take on and off because of the deployant clasp.
Yeah.
And it is wearing the wrist. The strap is still like new. I've worn it out in hot weather when I was sweating and stuff. I mean, it doesn't. Nothing seems to bother it. So, I think these people that say that as soon as you sweat, that the whole strap falls apart and everything, I think they're exaggerating, to say the least.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what happens with people who read something and they exaggerate anything. And anyway, imagine anyway, if you need to change the strap every 2 years after using it every day, it's a good thing.
That's not a big deal. Yeah. And I think it'll last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. I think it'll last quite a while. I mean, Brianna wears hers almost all the time. I mean, she takes it off sometimes when she's working out and stuff, but she wears it a lot. And I've seen her in the hot weather and all kinds of weather wearing that watch. And hers doesn't even have the deployant. Hers, you have to bend it and all, to put it on and all that. That's what causes the wear and tear when you're bending it to put the pin in and feed it back in and all that. And hers is still holding up pretty good after a year's worth of heavy use. And this doesn't even have that problem where I bend it, right? To bend the strap. So I think this is going to last quite a long time. I think they've totally exaggerated that whole thing with the straps wearing out. I think if you get a stitched strap that's well made, that's made out of the correct leathers. When HD Straps made this strap, he said the inner piece of leather that he put in it is a piece that resists sweat and all that very well. That it's very durable, and I believe him.
Definitely, the first let's say luxury watch that I had was a Breitling with a leather strap that I think that I wore it every day for 10 years. And yeah, the leather straps you notice some wear, but it was great and nice. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think they can be worn. Squall, what's Squall? SQUALE is better investment than Grand Seiko. I don't think of any watches as investments. I think them as a tool to wear, but I don't even know what that is. But okay, so Kyle's asking, the 231 is more comfortable than the Date 836. Yeah, it's more comfortable than Date 836 because that President bracelet, it has a presence to it. It pushes on you, you feel it. I mean, this just kind of floats, floats on my wrist. It's like it almost isn't even there. The Date 8 had a more of a presence on the wrist. And see, what's unique about this is I can wear it a little bit loose. See, it's a little bit loose. I don't know if you can tell, but it's a little bit loose. So it can go down over the bone like that, or it can be above the bone. But even though it's loose like that, it doesn't really flop around a lot. On my steel watches, if I wear them loose, even the Date 8, if I would wear it loose, it would kind of have a tendency to flop around more. And so that is not quite as comfortable. So this, I can wear it a little loose, which adds comfort, and yet it doesn't flop around. So I get the best of both worlds, right? I don't need to cinch it down real tight. I can wear it loose, and it's just amazing. I mean, I'm just blown away. I was not a strap guy until I got this watch. Now I understand why some people are strap guys.
Yeah,
Craig,
I agree.
Craig,
the president bracelet. Sorry. The president bracelet definitely for me is the nicest bracelet, but it's not the most comfortable. Definitely.
Yeah, John says, Craig, do you credit the influx of GS attention. What I'm not sure what you're saying. What I think if you're talking about why have GSs gotten more popular in the last couple years, I think that they have upped their game a little bit as far as quality and as far as they were always good quality. But I think that when they made the change on the dial in 2017, they went to the new dial and I think they kind of upped their game a little bit. And of course, we've been talking about them a lot. And some of the videos that I have, some of the produced videos have hundreds of thousands of views on the 231, for example. So that kind of triggered that watch becoming real popular. So there's a number of things that happened at the same time to, I think, make them more popular. And I think a lot of people are also looking for alternatives because they can't get the Rolex that they want. So they're looking at alternatives. Yeah, he said he's following up with Craig. Do you personally take credit for the rise of GS? I think I helped, but I don't know that I can take full credit, but I think I probably helped a little bit. Steve says I helped, but hard to say. And Donald says Craig definitely increased GS sales. GS should give him a 1% sales commission on it. Now that I agree with. They should absolutely give me a commission. I was asking about the 231, not the 002. The date seems like it would be more comfortable than the 231. That's a coin toss, Kyle. Yes, that's a real close call. The 231 is very comfortable on wrist. The date was comfortable, very comfortable on wrist. That would almost be a coin toss. They were very close in comfort.
I would say that the 231 with the titanium will be more comfortable than the date.
The 231 with a what?
With the titanium bracelet, more comfortable than the date.
Than the date. I would have to wear them, back to back and really compare, but it's close. They were both very comfortable. The date was comfortable. The advantage, of course, the 231 has is it's much easier to adjust the bracelet. If I go out in the humidity or something like that, I can quickly do a quick little adjustment. Couldn't do that on the date 8. So the date 8, was a little more of a problem in that respect, but they're both very comfortable. The date 8 36 is comfortable.
In my opinion, let's say the issue of the date is the weight of the bracelet. That is,
it's a little heavier. Heavy. It's a little heavier, but again, remember, you're comparing the date 8 40, which is significantly heavier than the 36.
Yeah.
So
maybe.
That's a difference. Jaden says, Is there anything more comfortable than a Datejust 36 millimeter on a Jubilee? A Datejust 36 on a Jubilee is extremely comfortable. I'll tell you what trumps that is a Snowflake. Even though I thought the Snowflake was a little too big, that's why I didn't keep it. It was feather light on wrist. That bracelet was extremely comfortable. That thing is insane because of the titanium, right? That thing is insane. But again, you don't have micro adjustments on the bracelet. You're stuck with whatever sizing you put it on. And if you got it a little too loose, then it flops around on the wrist. If you got it too tight, that's not comfortable. So that's the issue there. All these watches have some kind of an issue, it seems. Tom says, missed the start of the emergency broadcast. Sorry, Tom. And Derek says we can end now. What do you think about that? Has Derek ever said that?
Something, yeah, I am amazed.
Steve says, my secondhand Explorer 2 42 millimeter black dial has gone from 4,500 to 8,500 in 10 years. Surely that's an investment. That's not a very good return. It should double every 7 years. So if 4,500 should have doubled in 7 years, not 10, it should have been 9,000 in 7 years. So if it's 8,500 in 10 years, that's not a very good investment, Steve. A good investment, a decent investment, I'll put it that way, should double about every 7 years. That's assumed that's about a 10% return. And that's a conservative return on a decent investment, in my opinion. So no, that's not a good return.
He enjoyed it for some time, and it seems that he got some appreciation there.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
If he wants to sell it, it's a good thing.
There's nothing wrong with that. But then the other thing you have to think about is there are expenses associated with selling it. There's risks associated with selling it. So it's not extremely liquid. It's not like cash, right? It's not that liquid. And so, but if you can get a decent profit on it, you might want to take it. Craig, what do you think about the new Submariner? I prefer it over the old ones. They softened the lugs a little bit. They fixed the super case a little bit. I think they could have gone a little further, but yeah, I think they improved it. It's my opinion.
Yeah, I
Recently bought a
agree.
41 millimeter sub. Great watch so far. Donald in the house. Derek says, no, we can't end now. He says, we
Ah.
can't. He says, I messed up on my typing.
Yeah,
He says,
we were
don't
worried.
end. And Tom says, Derek, call in.
Derek,
So-
please call.
All right. Well, I think that I think we solved the problem. You know, I had a subscriber that wanted to buy the 231, and I kind of talked him out of it. I kind of said, hey, you know, you really don't need it. He had several other watches, and I really kind of talked him out of it because I'm like, I really like that watch. But on the other side of it, the equation is if I did sell it, then I would be forced to wear the 002 all the time. And it would be a good test. Can I actually wear this watch all the time? I think that would be a good experiment to do.
No. But
So-
you really don't. Yeah, I wouldn't be so comfortable about that. You know, I wear my watches, but I don't. Yeah, and every day I prefer to wear something more. Let's say on the day to day while I am in my house, something that I really don't care if I do anything or if I go in a boat or whatever. But yeah, I think that you will miss your sap on that. I think.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. The issue is the 231 is a major wrist hog. And so I tend
understand.
I tend to just wear it almost all the time. The only time I wear the 002 is when I'm going out with a meeting with a client, or I'm doing one of these shows, or, you know, special times, right? I'll put it on. And so it just doesn't get that much wrist time. And I kind of feel bad about that. I kind of feel bad that, you know, I've got this watch I spent a lot of money on, and I'm not giving it that much wrist time. But I guess maybe that's just the way it is. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I'm overthinking things.
Yeah. Well, you have the thing, but yeah. As I am starting to know you, I think that you should not sell the diver watch. I think
Yeah, I do like it. It's a wonderful watch, and it's
maybe you can trade it for the silver Tudor. Yeah, as you like the
the
silver.
231 is insanely accurate too. It's probably one of the more accurate spring drive Grand Seikos out there. I mean, it's like plus a half a second a month. It's like insane.
By the way, the Tudor, it is a bit slow.
Oh wait, the Tudor's running slow?
Yeah, just a bit, by the way. But you know that they need some time to stabilize. But currently, I would say that it's like 2 seconds slow or something.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is your
See, that would be a
favorite
deal
thing.
killer. That would be a deal killer for me. I've sold watches because they were slow.
Tudor, your favorite thing.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, no matter what watch it is, I don't care if it's a Rolex, I don't care what it is. If it's running slow, that would be a deal killer for me, because I hate having to unscrew the crown and resynchronize the time. Because if it's fast, all you have to do is stop the second hand, you know, for a few seconds, whatever it is fast, and push it back in, right? It's a piece of cake. If it's slow, you've got to stop it, resync the minute hand. It's a pain.
I do not care much. It's an opportunity to interact with your watch more, and but I understand. I get your point. Yeah.
But you have so many nice watches that it's not as big a deal.
Yes. Yeah, but
And
have
Kyle
seen
says
that
BTC is 41.5 right now. So he's saying that Bitcoin is pumping a little bit. Yeah, it does that. It goes up and it goes down. I think the big test is going to be if it can break 50,000 here. And here's the thing. I would rather it go up slower than go up real fast, because, you know, when it goes up real fast, we get ahead of ourselves and then we have a big pullback and a lot of people panic. I would rather it kind of stair step gradually up. But Bitcoin doesn't care what I would rather have happen. It's going to do what it's going to do. But it kind of scares a lot of people that have not been in it for a long time. Like, I've been in it so long that I've seen so many ups and downs that the downs don't even affect me anymore, right? But some people that get in for, you know, let's say they've only been in for a month or two, then they have a big pullback. It scares them to death and they sell at a loss, and sometimes they never come back in again. I mean, it just scares them out, right? So that's the thing I don't like about all this volatility, is it's not good for the newbies in the space. Let me ask you one final question before we wrap it up, Carlos. What would make you turn into a Bitcoin bull? What would make you say that, hey, I think this thing's for real now and everybody should have some? Is there anything that would make your position change to that?
Not sure really about that. Maybe I am too biased about that subject. No idea.
What about if three
the
more
scenario.
countries? What about if 3 more countries made it legal tender in their country?
Yeah, but if our countries like Salvador or whatever, or Venezuela, or no.
So it would have to be a major
haven't
country. It would have to be a major country like Germany or something like that.
Yeah.
Would that sway you if a major
cannot
country recognized it as legal tender? Like Germany, for example, would that sway you?
Maybe I cannot see that scenario, but maybe.
All right. Well, we'll see.
You know.
We'll see what happens. Okay, let's see.
I hope the best to everybody, all my friends that have that kind of asset, and yeah, I really hope the best for you.
Yeah, that way we can hang out with you on your trips and stuff. Like, if we're really wealthy, we can hang out with you. Okay, so Tom says trade the 231 for a Doxa. No, I don't think that's going to happen. And then Kyle says, how can Rolex not offer a yellow gold GMT? What a fail. I agree. My gosh, for years they offered a yellow gold GMT. I mean, what in the heck? If gold keeps getting more popular like it seems to be getting these days, maybe they'll change their tune on that. Carlos, what if Panama follows El Salvador and adopts BTC as national currency? I think he's already answered that it would have to be a bigger country. I don't think Panama would be enough.
Well, Panama currently, in fact, the legal currency is the US dollar. In Panama, it's supposed to be the Balboa, but effectively is the US dollar. And no idea.
Well, I mean, El Salvador will still accept dollars. They've just made it an additional legal tender. So in El Salvador, it's just the US dollar and Bitcoin are both considered legal tender, and all the businesses have to accept, after the law goes into effect in another month or so, all the businesses have to accept either. So if you go in there and you want to buy something, legally, you can buy it with either US dollars or Bitcoin. That's what legal tender is all about. So Tim says, Craig and Carlos, why not swap watches Tudor and 231 for a trial period? No, Tim, I don't think I have to do that.
We can try it. We can try. I think, Craig, that in fact, I think if I go to to the Craig to the Steve shows, I think that you will love the Tudor. And once you see the Tudor in real life, instead
I'll
of the
look at it. I
macros,
will look at the Tudor and I will give my honest assessment. If you bring
yeah,
it, I'll look at it and I'll give my honest assessment of it.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
'Cause see that
You
hour
will
hand, I
notice.
just can't get past that hour hand on those things. I just
Yeah,
can't.
but you in my opinion, I think that once it's the same that we always say, that once you use the watch and you see in real life instead of just watching the macros and everything, I think that you will like the hands more than what you think.
It just
In my
see here's the main thing I don't like about Tudor. But let me read his comment first, and then I'll tell you. Kyle says, I would say if the country you live in adopts it, you must buy in. It would be risky not to at that point. Well, yeah, I mean, you will see.
maybe I
What
need to change the
what
country
Tudor did you
where
get,
I live.
Carlos? Jaden is asking. The sterling silver one. Okay, so here's my main thing about Tudor, and this goes back to from years ago and even now. I believe that Rolex on purpose makes some things about Tudor not quite as desirable because they don't want to take away from their Rolex sales. So that's why they put that funky hour hand on there, and that's why they do other similar things where they want to dumb the watch down a little bit. And in some of them, they didn't use like Rolex movements. They used other movements. And I think they just did all these things to make it a lesser tier watch on purpose when they really didn't have to. They could have put a great movement in there. The movements don't cost them that much to make, right? I mean, they could have made it just as good as a Rolex and just put the name Tudor on it and called it a day. But instead, they made it a lesser watch on purpose. And so that's why I never saw the benefit in buying them. I said, hey, what the hell? I'm just going to go buy a Rolex. Rolexes were available then, readily available. See, now they're not. And now I can understand why some people buy Tudor, because you just literally can't buy the Rolex that you want. But there are Rolexes out there that you can get used that are still pretty good watches. There's Datejust that you can still get at decent prices. And then there are other alternatives. For example, the Grand Seiko. You can get a great Grand Seiko. Lance has sent in a bunch of them to us for like $1,000 on eBay. You can get a decent Grand Seiko. So, I mean, I'd much rather have that than a Tudor, because Grand Seiko doesn't dumb down any of their watches. They don't make junk. If you buy a 9F Grand Seiko, or if you buy an automatic Grand Seiko or a spring drive or any Grand Seiko, they build them all pretty much with the same quality. Now, some of them might have a little better bracelet or a little better this, but they're all made to high quality standards. And so they're not a dumbed down brand. And that's what I don't like about Tudor. So anyway, that's my rant on Tudor.
I understand it, and I am pretty much the same. But yeah, in my case, I really like the sterling silver as metal. And once I heard about the news about the watch, I wanted to try it. I like it, and also the prices are very different. I think the price of this watch is, I think on the AD is like $4,000, and I got a big discount of around 25%. Yeah, it's something that is very different price segment. Is very I understand your point.
Derek says, Carlos, do you have a Rolex Day Date? I thought you have a Day Date. Yes, Derek. He has a 40 mil Day Date white gold. It's a stunner.
Yeah.
It is a
Did you
stunner.
like
It's
it?
on the.
Did you like it, Craig, when you saw it in real life?
It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It is posted on the Facebook group, Only Stunning Watches. On that group, there's a very exclusive group on Facebook. I don't know if any of you all know about it, but it's extremely exclusive, and it's called Only Stunning Watches. And Carlos's Day Date is posted there. By the way,
you didn't approve my Tudor. You didn't approve.
I think it's not there. Yeah. Hey, Carlos, why don't you post a picture of your 5196 there? I'll approve that.
Yeah. You didn't approve my Tudor. That was my first.
Very exclusive group. Very, very exclusive group. All right, I'm going to let you go. We're going to wrap this puppy up. I'm going to eat a very nice dinner, and you're going to get a very good night's sleep so that you can continue to enjoy your wonderful guests and your hosts there.
Yeah.
You're looking really good. You're really taking care of yourself. I'm impressed with every decision you've made except for the Tudor.
Yeah.
You've been batting 1,000.
Maybe now I am indulging myself a lot, I have to say. But yes, let's say in 2 weeks I will be back in Panama, and I will be
by the pool,
and
and
you can be more disciplined.
And you can call in by the pool. You can call in from the pool. Poolside.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you for calling in, and
Okay,
we will see you guys.
Craig. Thank you for your show, and thank you, everybody. See you around.
We will see you guys next time.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.